back to another episode of New Friends. I'm Jordana Bryant. So, as I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about today during our episode, I was thinking about how I don't have a sister. And growing up, I feel like there were a lot of moments where I would have loved to have an older sister to get her advice on things and ask her questions. And even though my mom is my best friend and I love her so much, there's some things that you kind of want someone who's just a few years older than you, or who maybe even is just a friend who you feel like you can go to for advice, rather than sometimes asking your mom. I don't know why that is, because my mom has really good advice. Maybe it's just that you feel like, oh, well, when she was growing up, there weren't situationships, so she wouldn't know what advice to give me. Or even I'm a little embarrassed to ask my mom, or whatever it is. Or I just want someone who's also going through the same things right now to get their opinion on it. So I thought it would be so fun to do episodes where I just answer some questions and where we just chat about things that are going on in our lives, and I get to hear about what y'all are experiencing. So I posted on my Instagram a few days ago asking people for their questions, and I picked some of them that I felt like I had a good response to. No, I picked some of them that I felt like would be fun to talk about and other people would definitely relate to. So we can just go through those. Okay. How do you know when it's time to walk away from a friendship or situationship? That is such a good question. I think that in the past, for me, what I've tried to go by is if something or someone isn't filling up my cup and making me feel good, then it's probably time to walk away. Now, this doesn't have to be every moment of every day. There's not any good relationship that I know of that is good 100% of the time. Everyone has issues that they work through. Everyone has fights or tough moments where they need to talk through what's going on. But if someone is repeatedly draining your cup, making you not feel great about yourself, making you not feel great about your relationship, then maybe it's time to walk away. And I think an example of that is people talk about you can either give energy or take away energy. And I think that in a good relationship, in a healthy relationship, whether that's a friendship, whether that's a romantic relationship, you are both giving each other energy and you're making each other feel happier and feel good about themselves. I think that when it's time to walk away from a relationship, that's when someone is making you not feel good about yourself, or even just when someone isn't matching your energy. It could be that you have a friendship where you love your friend and you have a ton of fun whenever you hang out, but they've been pulling away the last few months, and you feel like you reach out and they never reach out. Or maybe they reach out once every 5 times that you reach out. If you feel like you're constantly the one who's trying to put in the effort into the relationship and it's one-sided, then maybe that's also a sign that you should walk away from that friendship or relationship. And I would say with 2 of my closest friendships that I've lost over the years, the first one, I felt like she was making me feel bad about myself, and I don't say that because I think she's a bad person at all. I have so much love for her, but I think that to make herself feel better, that she would try to put down things that made me excited, make me feel stupid for things that made me feel excited. She would try to kind of make my successes feel smaller so that she didn't feel like she was behind or wasn't having success. I think that comes from a completely internal place. And I don't fault her for that, but I also recognize that that wasn't a friendship that was filling up my cup. and that it was probably time to take a step back. And then another friendship, I really care, both friendships, I care so much for these girls, but I was reaching out and she was never reaching out. We got to a point where I would reach out all the time to FaceTime, and not obsessively, okay? I wasn't a stalker. But I would reach out, once a week, once every other week to text or FaceTime, and she would take days to respond to text, if that, if she responded at all. And it would go from her saying, sorry, I can't FaceTime now, can we find another day next week, to sorry, I can't talk, or just not even picking up. And so I was like, okay, this probably makes sense to stop reaching out. And if she reaches out, then maybe we can preserve this. But also, if not, then I know that I should put my energy into something else. So, baseline, thesis, summary. How do you know when it's time to let a relationship or a friendship or a situationship go? When you feel like it's one-sided, or when it's not filling up your cup. Those are my 2 thoughts. Next question. I'm actually really proud of myself that I was able to summarize that in such a short phrase. Okay. What do you say to a friend who's dating someone who treats her badly? That's a tough one, because you don't want to judge your friend, and also there's definitely aspects of a relationship that you don't see as a third party. Someone could not seem like the greatest person when you only see them in the periphery, but really that's because they're just shy around other people, or the day that you saw them they were actually going through something really hard, they got some bad news, or they had a fight with their parents, or whatever it was, and when they're together with your friend, they're actually a great guy and they really pay attention to her and listen to her. And also, you could think someone's awesome and you're like, wow, he's really so attentive. He always calls you. He checks in on you. He plans your dates. He picks you up, opens your doors. He's so attentive, but you could potentially not see the fact that he actually is maybe a little more than attentive, and maybe actually controlling, and maybe too emotionally attached to the relationship, where he can't give you your healthy space, So it's hard to know from the outside looking in, but I think you can see patterns. And I guess none of my friends have really been in a serious relationship, so maybe I'm not the best person to ask, but I would say in terms of guys that my friends have liked, I have definitely shared with my friend when she likes someone, hey, I just want you to know that he's not reaching out as much as you are, and you deserve someone who is reaching out. Or you're coming to me every day being I just don't know if he likes me, I don't know where he stands. That's probably not the best characteristic. If you don't know where he stands, that's causing you all this anxiety and stress that you don't deserve. You deserve someone who makes you so assured in your relationship. So I would say that the best way to handle it is coming to your friend in a super non-judgmental way. Just saying, hey, I do not want to overstep here, and I totally recognize the fact that I do not see your relationship completely. There's so much of your relationship that I don't see, but I just want to come to you because lately I've been feeling like so-and-so isn't putting in the energy that you deserve, or a lot of the time you're not sure where he stands, or there's been, a handful of times where you've come to me really upset with something he said to you, and I just want you to know that you deserve someone who makes you feel super assured, who doesn't hurt your feelings and say things about, your outfits or how you look or whatever, or you deserve someone who puts in as much energy as you do. And if I'm wrong about this, then I totally respect that, and I love you and I support you, and if this person is really making you happy and filling up your cup, then I love that, and I'm so happy for you. I just wanted to share what I've been seeing because I never want to be in a position where you're in a relationship that isn't making you feel great, that's maybe taking energy rather than giving energy. And I saw something and I didn't say that. And I didn't share with you that I think you deserve someone who makes you just feel amazing. So I think that you come from a place of no judgment. No, your boyfriend is doing this, your girlfriend is this. They don't treat you this. They have this bad characteristic. They are problematic. None of that. It's just, I just love you so much and I want you to be in the healthiest, happiest relationship ever. And like lately, I've just been seeing some things that made me have some question marks, and I just wanted to talk with you to see where you're at and see how you're feeling in the relationship, because I don't know, I'm not there most of the time, and so I wanted to like see if you wanted to talk about anything, and if there's anything that's been going on, or if it's been awesome and maybe I'm totally off base, and I hope that I am, because I want you to be in an incredible relationship, you know? So I think that you just come to it with an honest, open, non-judgmental conversation and see where it goes from there. And also, I definitely recognize the fact that, because I'm this way too, when you like someone, it can be very hard to be persuaded that that person is not the person for you, even if you kind of subconsciously know that. Like, there have been many times that I've liked a guy who literally could not care less about me, and my friend Lily will be like, Jordana, he never texts you. Like, he never texts you. He doesn't care. He only, like, DMs you on Instagram. Like, why doesn't he text you? Or, like, he never actually plans a date. Like, he always shows up late and, like, doesn't even have any plan for where you guys are gonna go or whatever. Like, you know. And I'm like, wait, but I know you say that, but, like, I just like him. It's so exciting. Like, and so it's very valid that they might not want to hear it. And I think that you win when you don't come from a place of judgment, because you don't want them to get defensive. You don't want them to feel like you're judging their choices. You just want to be like, hey, like, I just want you to know this because I think you're awesome and you deserve someone awesome. And I think that if you come from like a super conversational place that's not pointing out issues, then you'll succeed and you won't create any weird conflicts between the two of you guys, because you don't want to do that. You just want them. The reason why you're bringing it up is because you love them and you care for them so much, you know? Have you ever felt jealous of your friend's relationship or success? How do you deal with it? That's a great question. I would say, no, I haven't felt jealous, because I think that jealousy, my definition of jealousy is wishing that you had something someone else has, and kind of also wishing that they didn't have it. You know, I think of jealousy as a characteristic, a characteristic that maybe isn't super beneficial, and that also doesn't necessarily come from a place of love, which is totally valid. Totally valid emotion. I've definitely felt jealous of people that I don't know, or that like I kind of know a little bit, and they're maybe like not the nicest person, or they weren't the nicest person to me, and I'm like, gosh, like I wish I had what they have. Like, it's not fair. Like, they treat people so horribly, and yet they have like this whatever, and yet they have like this amazing, you know, whatever. But I think that you can wish that you also had something that your friend has without being jealous that they have it, because you still are so happy that your friend has this amazing success and relationship and whatever it is, but you kind of also like wish you had that too, you know? And maybe that is the definition of jealousy. Maybe I just need to reframe my definition, that jealousy isn't some, you know, malicious thing. But I would say that also, I think jealousy is inherently an emotion that we feel bad about having. We feel guilty because of our definition of jealousy. And I think that whenever you want something that someone else has, it's easy to be like, "Oh, I'm jealous of them. Wow, I'm such a bad person." But I think that when you see something that someone else has and you want that, I think that's a very normal thing. That doesn't mean you don't want them to have it, you know? So I think you can be like, "Wow, like I'm I think that's more longing. Longing or hopeful that you could have it, because it's not envious. It's not like a negative emotion. It's more just like, I long to have that relationship, or I long to have that success that you have. And I don't think it has to be something that you overthink or overcomplicate into like, do I need to tell them? Is this something that I need to apologize for? Like, no, it's just something to recognize that, like, that matters to me. You know what? I didn't think that having a relationship really mattered to me, but when I see my friend in this such a happy, healthy relationship, I'm longing for that too. And maybe that's something that I need to start spending some time in, trying to figure out how I can also be in a happy, healthy relationship. And if it also is something where, like, it's creating whatever tension in your friendship, it also could be something just to have a conversation for. I'm so about having honest conversations. So if you're feeling that longing to have what your friend has, maybe it's healthy to just say, "Hey, I just really wanted to talk about this. This feels kind of like slightly awkward and embarrassing for me to bring up, which I don't really know why, but I think it's so awesome how you and so are just in the happiest, healthiest relationship. I love how you guys are so close, yet you also respect each other's space and privacy. And he's so thoughtful, and you're so thoughtful, and you know each other so well. And I long to have that. Like, I wish I had that too. I love that you have that. I wish I had that too. And I just want you to know that, like, if I ever seem weird around you and so, or like if it ever feels like I'm not celebrating your success, first of all, please tell me, because I want to celebrate your success. I want to celebrate your relationship. I love that for you. I think it's just that I'm probably in those moments thinking about how I wish I had that too, and trying to figure out how I can get to that place so we're both in that place, you know? So I clearly don't have it down to a 15-second blurb, but that's kind of how I think I would handle it. And sometimes it doesn't need to be a conversation. It can just be an internal processing of your emotion of, what is it that I'm feeling? Why am I feeling that? Okay, what can I do if I don't want to feel this way? To feel a different way? How can I reframe my emotion? Or maybe I just need to recognize what I'm feeling, and that's enough. It doesn't need to be changed. That's my 2 cents. I'm also taking literally forever to go through each of these questions, so there might have to be 2 episodes, because I don't want this to be like a 2-hour long episode. Next question. Do you ever compare yourself to other girls on social media? How do you stop? I 100% have done that. And it can be hard to stop when you find someone who pops up on your feed who you're like, wow, they are gorgeous, and they specifically have this one thing that I wish I had. I think that it hits hardest when it's something that you feel insecure about in yourself, for either not having or for having. Like, for example, if you always wish that you were a blonde and you see someone who's just beautiful and blonde and you're like, oh, they have everything I want. Or if you have always been insecure about, for me, okay, I'll say something that's personal for me. I've always been super insecure about my thighs. I hate wearing shorts. I don't wear them, honestly. I don't even love wearing like short skirts. I most of the time will wear like long pants or long skirts because I just feel insecure about my thighs. And so specifically when I'm scrolling on Instagram and I see someone who has really small thighs, I can just go down a spiral of like looking at all their photos. Maybe I sound like a stalker, but looking at some of their photos and being like, oh my gosh, they're gorgeous. They're so great, and they have small thighs that I would never be able to have. And maybe, do I need to do something to have those size thighs? Okay, what do I do? What's the plan? What do I eat? How much do I need to exercise to look like them? I'll never look like them, so I'm never gonna get a boyfriend that looks like theirs. Their boyfriend is so cute, and I'm single. And how will I ever find someone that looks like that if I don't look like her? So it can be so easy to just obsessively compare yourself to other people on social media, and that's only the look side of it. There's the whole other side of success. There have been so many times where I've felt proud of a video hitting 100,000 views, and then I go to my homepage on TikTok, and the next video that pops up is someone I know who has 1 million views on theirs. And I'm like, oh, that was so stupid of me to feel proud of my 100,000 views. They have 1 million views, and that's not even uncommon for them. They get 1 million views every week or whatever it is. It can be so easy to belittle your successes because they look different than someone else's, and to also think that your success is only valid if it's the same size as someone else's or larger than someone else's. In those moments, what I try to do is think about all the people who wish they were me. No, I'm just joking. That's not what I do. That is not healthy behavior, nor is that even my behavior. But what I try to do is focus in on things that I'm proud of. Focus in on the things that me a year ago would be proud of, me 5 years ago would be proud of. So I try to think about, would Jordana 3 years ago think that this was really cool that this video has 100,000 views? Yeah, she would. Would Jordana 3 years ago think that I'm pretty because she hated the fact that she had braces and I don't have braces anymore and my teeth aren't crooked anymore? Yeah, she would. Would she be excited at the fact that I look older than she did 3 years ago and I look more mature? Yeah, she would. Would she still love the shade of her eyes? Yeah, she would. She always liked that about herself. Would she think that the freckles she has are cool because that makes her her, and she always liked the fact that her and her brother have the same 2 freckles next to their eye and to their mouth? Yeah, she would. Like, focus on the things that your younger self would think is really cool and would be proud of, especially when it comes to your successes. And when it comes to looks, I think, now this might not be, I don't know if this is like the best way to do it, but I think that what I try to do is recognize that when I look at someone else and wish I had what they have, I'm focusing on the big picture. There are definitely insecurities that they have that they feel awkward about in that photo. Like, I might see it and be like, wow, their thighs look so skinny. But they might see that photo of them and be like, oh my god, my teeth just look so bad in this. Like, ugh, I have this gap between my teeth and everyone must see it and that must be all they focus on. Or, like, ugh, like my arms do not look good in this. Like, I hate how big my arms look in this, and I'm sure whenever someone sees this photo, all they see is how big my arms are. Meanwhile, I'm over here being like, wow, their thighs are so skinny. I wish I had their thighs. So I think it's really important to recognize that we all view photos of ourselves so differently than everyone else does, and it can be easy to think, I look bad, everyone else looks great, and everyone else sees me as looking bad and sees everyone else as looking great. that's not the case. I think everyone focuses in on their own insecurities, so the more you can try to focus in on the big picture or the things that you like about that photo, the more you'll feel better about yourself, but you'll also see a more accurate photo. You'll see a more accurate representation of what you really look like and what other people are seeing. And when I was in therapy, one of the things that we would do is we would actually go through photos that I would take during photo shoots, because photo shoots became something that I struggled with, because I would feel, I don't know, I would feel pressure before a photo shoot to like lose weight so that I would look good during the photos. And I would definitely fixate on certain things where I would almost not choose a photo for something because my arm looked big, or because like I looked wide in it, or whatever it was. And so we would reframe that, and my therapist would have me focus on something else about the photo. What else? Well, I look really happy in this photo. I'm smiling, and like it's clear that the photo caught me mid-laugh, and that's very contagious. Good. What else? Well, I really like the outfit that I'm wearing. I love the color. I feel like it brings out the color of my eyes. Good. What else? Well, the whole photo, the sunset behind me is really pretty. I like the whole landscape of where we are. Good. What else? Like, so she would just have me focus on every other detail of the photo so that I could see it as, no pun intended, I could see the whole picture, not just the one thing that I focused in on. Gosh, I really am coming up with long answers to these short questions. Okay. How long has this podcast been? I'm like, has it been an hour already? No, that's fine. We're going to answer a few more, but quicker. This is going to be the speed round. How do you stay confident when you feel behind everyone else? Don't think about where everyone else is. Think about where you used to be. Ask yourself, am I further ahead than I was a year ago? Am I further ahead than I was 5 years ago? And don't let yourself only look at one aspect. Look at the whole picture. Because you can say on one hand, no, I'm not further ahead. I am further behind in my career, actually. A year ago, when it comes to music, a year ago, I had this many monthly listeners. Now I have less. What? Or whatever it is. A year ago, I would get 10 sales a day on my bracelet store. I don't know. And now I only get 5 sales a day on my bracelet store. Okay, sure, that's one aspect, but also, have I learned skills? Do I feel like I'm a better friend today than I was a year ago? Do I feel like I'm a better daughter than I was a year ago? Do I feel like I've grown in my ability to be independent and to do new things that scare me, and to make friends and to be bold and to say what I mean? Yeah, then I am further ahead. And focus on all aspects. Have I figured out how to communicate what I need in a relationship better than I did a year ago? Yeah, then I am further ahead. Don't try to compare yourself to where someone else is, because you're also not seeing their whole picture. Yeah, they might be further ahead in their career, but they also might be drastically behind you in their ability to voice what they need in a relationship, or to communicate what they're feeling, or to accept love and give love. Like, there's so many different facets of someone's life, and you can pick out the one area that they're ahead in, but you're not seeing the areas that they're behind in. So the only person you can really, truly, honestly compare yourself to is your past self. So compare yourself to your past self. Focus on the things that you've grown in. If there are things that you've maybe slid back in, take note of those and figure out if it's in your control. How do I get back to where I was? And if it's not in your control, focus on the things that are in your control. Those are my 2 cents. Have you ever felt like giving up? What made you keep going? I wouldn't say I've definitely felt disheartened before. I wouldn't say I've felt like giving up, because in those moments where I felt really disheartened and wondered if I was making progress, specifically in my career, I really focused in on what is my why. I think that the most important thing is what is my why. Because no matter what you're doing, your career, your relationship, whatever it is, you're going to go through really hard patches. There's going to be moments, whether that's hours, days, weeks, whatever, where it's really hard. And in those moments, the only thing that's going to keep you going is having a strong enough why. And what I mean behind that is, why am I doing this? Why does this matter to me? Why did I get into this in the first place? And for me, with my career, it's always been to make a positive impact on people and create a community where they feel seen and heard and where they know that they matter. Forget everything else. I can be going through a period of time where I feel like, am I ever going to make progress? Am I ever going to get to a place where I can support myself? I can pay my own rent and have enough money to provide for children if I want children, which I do want children at some point. How am I ever going to be able to give them a good life if I can barely afford to, provide for myself? Some of the time I feel like I'm not even making an impact on that many people. Like, I want it to be so big, and it's so not that big right now. Like, there are moments that you can get down on yourself. You can feel like, I'm not doing it. Look at all these people who are so much better than me, who are so much more talented, who are crushing it and having all this success. And in those moments, I say, what is my why? Do I still believe in my why? Does it still matter to me? Do I still feel like the people that I wanted to make a positive impact, like, they deserve to have someone come and tell them that this is a place where you can come to feel loved, to feel heard? Do I still feel like I need to make that impact? Yeah. Do I still feel like if I do that, I'll feel so fulfilled and all of the hard work and all of the dark times will be worth it? Yeah. Then there you go. How can you give up when your why is so strong that you can't envision not doing it? Apparently I say, a lot. I was with my manager earlier today, and he was like, so, my thing is so, I say so a lot, your thing is, let's both work on our things. So, maybe I should convert my thing to so. Okay, anywho. What's one piece of advice you wish someone gave you when you were younger? Oh. I wish someone had told me that asking for help does not make you weak. It does not make your success less impressive. Asking for help is, in fact, a skill to be admired. I think for the longest time I felt like if I had help, my success wasn't really mine. If I had written a song and someone else helped me write it or came up with even a few words tweak, yeah, people think it's a great song, but it's not because it's mine. It's because someone else helped. I have such a skill for being able to invalidate any success I have and at the same time prop up someone else's success. Of when I'm looking at someone else that I compare myself to, like, oh, they're doing all this, and someone else will be like, well, yeah, but they're also 5 years ahead in their career. Well, yeah, but, like, or, well, they also have someone, doing this for them. Well, yeah, but, like, that doesn't matter because they're still doing that. But when it's me, you're doing this. Well, yeah, but like this person helped me, or I've been at it for 5 years, or I'm X years older than this person, or whatever it is. I used to have such a way of thinking that if I asked for help, it meant I couldn't do it on my own, and that's something to be ashamed of. That's something to feel embarrassed of. That's something that means that when I do ask for help, my success, even if it works super well, my success isn't mine. I didn't earn that. That is so not true. When you ask for help, it is so hard for most of us to ask for help. It's something that people, including yourself, should feel really proud of. I used to frame things in my life as hard and easy, and somehow hard was doing it by yourself. Hard was putting myself in physical pain. Hard, to achieve something. Hard was, restricting what I ate so I lost weight and went down a size. Hard was working 14 hours in a row and not letting myself have any time to rest or take a break or sleep or eat. And along the way, I realized that for me, hard was giving myself permission to take time that I needed for myself. Hard was giving myself permission to eat when I was hungry. Hard was asking someone for help when I needed it. Hard was admitting I was struggling. And I think when I redefined those things for myself, it made so much of a difference. I realized that those definitions that I placed on things, if this is either hard or easy, defined what I let myself need and what I let myself ask for. And when I started reframing the things that were truly hard for me as hard for me, I began to feel successful in doing those things that I used to think made me unsuccessful. So I would say the one piece of advice I wish my younger self had was it's okay to ask for help. And it doesn't make you weak, it actually makes you really strong. Well, I certainly had so many more questions on my list to answer, but I think we'll do a part 2 because this has been so fun, but I definitely am a talker, and I will talk for a long time about every question and every answer. And I think also a lot of the time when someone asks me a question, I kind of need to process out loud what I would do in that situation, Because I don't really have obviously this. It's like, what would I do? Well, on one hand this, on one hand this. And as obvious, clearly I can just talk forever. Example A. Thank you guys for listening to this. I hope some of it was helpful. Some of it was maybe accurate, right? I don't know if there's a right. Anyway, I hope you'll join me in the next episode, and it would mean so much if you would follow and leave a good rating. Or leave a bad one if you really didn't like it. That's okay. But please leave a good one if you liked it. Or maybe if you didn't like it, just don't leave a rating, Anyway, I love you. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day. I hope I'll see you in the next episode. Bye! Thank you so much for joining me for season 1 of my podcast, New Friends. I had the absolute best time getting to dive into podcasting with y'all. It was never something that I had really done before, so it was super fun to see what it's like when you have a guest on, see what it's like when it's just you talking to a camera, and y'all have made it such a fun experience getting to answer questions and talk about our lives and what we're going through. I am so excited for season 2. It's going to be premiering on August 5th. I really hope you'll tune in. We have done so many cool interviews with amazing guests, and we're talking about things that we haven't really talked about before, so I am so stoked for it. I hope you'll join me, and thank you so much for being part of this journey. See you in season 2.